Welcome, welcome, welcome. I know it's been a long time. It's the first video I've been doing, like first video I'm doing for the first time for the year. As a matter of fact, so yeah, it's the same old lame excuse. Busy, 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 family, work, and things like that. So I'm trying to fit more time to do these, but when I can, I'm gonna do them. Right. So right now, you see the title of what it is basically me doing a review on the Book of Mormon, right? Basically, like you see in the title, it's basically just a minstrel show. Now, as a disclaimer, if you don't know where my stand is on this, I'm going to give you why I want to see the show. So the people who made the Book of Mormon are the guys who made South Park, right? So I'm a South Park fan, right? I'm a big South Park fan, things like that. So I like their content, right? So I'm thinking their Broadway show would be just as good. But not necessarily so I have come to find out. So a little about me, another reason why I want to see it, they're atheists or whatever, or agnostic, but I think they're more on the atheist spectrum. Me, I'm more agnostic, as an African man, right? I am more agnostic, well, the Abrahamic religions would consider me being atheist. If I don't accept Jesus or Yahweh or El or whatever, I don't have a God. I'm godless. So they will see me more as someone who is, an atheist, but whatever. But in Africa, I would be more of a so-called, for lack of a better word, a religious person, a spiritual person, whatever, believing in a creator. So I have no problem with the people poking fun at Christianity and Jesus Christ is my savior and Muhammad or Yahweh, whatever. All that's garbage. It's nonsense. Um, Especially from a African black standpoint, because there's a lot of anti-African sentiment and philosophies within the Bible itself. So, just to give you a little bit of background about that. So, I'm gonna get right into it as far as like what my experience was, and other people. I was pleasantly surprised that they had the same experience as I do. So, if you're a fan of South Park and you like this stuff, you like their content, you still happen to be a black person or just a decent person in general, yeah, it was very highly offensive. I was, it was just uncomfortable. So my wife and I, it was pretty much my idea. My wife just tagged along with me to see this Broadway show because we're trying to see Broadway shows, and we went there. We didn't really pay the scene too much. We didn't mind it too much. We didn't like, really pay attention to what the scene as far as like the type of people going there or things like that. But it's something that I guess as a black person you notice, but you try to like block it out, but not block it out, but be aware of your surroundings, but don't let your surroundings pretty much deter you what you want to do, where you want to go, or whatever. So it's whatever, good in any setting except for this one. So we saw it, whatever. We got there kind of a little late, so I think we probably missed like 10 minutes of it or whatever, or something like that. So we didn't see like the very, very beginning of it yet. So we, like I said, we got like 10, 20 minutes in there. So this is what we saw when we first came in. They set everything up. Um, so let me show you what I am talking about. So, we got there, we saw our seats. They were like setting things up. So right here in this particular scene is like, so basically the Mormons, what they do, they pretty much as a rite of passage, like young Mormon men, they're supposed to go out. They're pretty much like missionaries, and they have to go recruit people to join the Church of Mormon. And they're, obviously the Mormon Church in its inception from the beginning was absolutely blatantly racist. Saying that the curse of Ham is really blackness. So, but if you look in the Bible, the curse of Ham doesn't state what the blackness is, but pretty much fill in the blank. What's the worst thing than to be is black or Africans, right? So that's what the Mormon Church was about. Then they changed it around like in the late '80s, early '90s. No, sometime in the '80s and in the early '90s they changed it, right? So they try to get all these black members or whatever and stuff like that, and try to ignore their racist past. So in the beginning, what we saw was basically this right here, and I'm like, okay, so they I expect them to take some digs at Africans and stuff like that. Saying no one is immune to jokes. A joke doesn't have to make sense. A joke could be a little bit offensive, but I'm thinking since it's these guys, there's going to be a line, right? But obviously, it don't seem to be a line here because the first thing I see, he's dancing and say, "Oh, they're saying this is what you're going to expect when you go to Africa. So be prepared." And this, that, and the other. And I'm like, okay. And then so she comes out and does this whole kind of weird dance. And I'm like, all right. And then as I'm looking at her, I'm like, wait a minute. Why does she have a tiger on, right? And all this other stuff. Some stuff is somewhat traditional, depending on what people you're talking about. But then as I started studying her, I'm like, why do you have a picture of a tiger? Tigers aren't indigenous to Africa. They're indigenous to Asia. Tigers are like in China and India. So I'm like, what the hell? And then I don't know what the hell this is. I really couldn't make that out, but that's not really caught my attention. This caught my attention. Then right after that, directly this. What the is it? She got brooms in her headdress. I'm not going to disrespect and even call that a headdress. She has brooms in her hair, her head, or whatever. I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, this is ridiculous. This is lazy. This is ridiculous. Like what? And then she's dancing, acting all crazy and stuff like that, grinning and skinning her teeth like a damn freaking coon. And they said, "This is what you're gonna expect." And of course, they're all like, "Oh wow, this is great. Yeah. Oh wow. La, la, la. Why is my mail popping up?" Anyway, it's like, oh yeah, wow, this, that, and the other, and they just laughing at it and stuff like that. But come to find out that she is American, right? And she's just putting on a show, which we know now is pretty much a minstrel show, as of to on what she's gonna expect, what they're gonna expect when she goes to Africa, knowing that she has never been to Africa. So it's just ignorance on power on top of power of ignorance, right? So I'm like, all right, already I'm not really feeling it too much because they even didn't correct that. They just let that shit ride. Right. So then they go to Africa or whatever and stuff like that. And then they go to whatever village this is. So it's supposed to be taking place in Uganda. That's where it's supposed to be taking place in Uganda. And they're supposed to be in the outskirts of any city in Uganda. So these people are onto their own devices and stuff like that. But it shows you like all the tropes. So he's like has a mule and he's dragging a dead mule like it's still alive. And then and on the stage there's like other like crazy things happening. What I'm saying? It shows how like impoverished these people are and stuff like that. So already is kind of like okay, like this is like way too much. What I'm saying? It's going into the old African stereotypes of poverty, unintelligence, backwardsness, and all of that. So I'm like what? Like nah, man. Like okay, this is a little too much. And like I said, with South Park, I'm used to South Park teaching you a lesson. They'll okay, like they'll wallow in the mud for like a little bit and say some crazy stuff, but then again, they'll take like 20 steps ahead and rectify and make those corrections and say, okay, this is why in the beginning we were wrong to say these things, because look at this is really ignorant, yada yada yada. So I'm waiting for that moment to come. So I'm trying to, like, you know, bear the stupidity and the negativity about these, you know, these African stereotypes. So the missionaries come out or whatever, right? And I mean, he goes over here. I think here is a good one right here, right? They come out basically saying, "Hey, look," saying they all have AIDS and everything. Oh, we all have AIDS. We all have AIDS. And this a guy's gonna say, "Well, well, everyone has AIDS. That's just how it is. The only person that don't have AIDS, right, is the little mulatto girl right here. This wannabe African, this mulatto girl." Right here. She's the only one that don't have AIDS, and she's supposed to be like the lead. You know, she's like the lead, right? Everyone is pretty much co-host, you know, like her father and whatever and other people, right? So there's a mulatto girl and stuff like that. It's supposed to be the lead. She's the only one that don't have AIDS, but all of the black Africans, right? Phenotypically, they all got AIDS, right? And then this guy, oh man, where is he? I don't see the guy. The guy's not here. There's a guy there saying that he wants to have sex with infants because he has AIDS, and having sex with infants will cure his AIDS. It's like, what in the flying like what? You know, and a lot of that shit was going on, and then they had like intermission, right? Then they had a guy that this guy right here. This guy right, I think, is this guy right here, or I gotta find him. I don't think that's the guy. And he's saying he has AIDS, and he has and they trying to talk to them every time they're trying to talk to them. They keep they let them know like what's wrong with them. Like, oh, I have AIDS, or oh, I or something backwards that they don't understand about how things work, like everyday things work. You know, like cell phones or running water or clean water. And then the guy is going to be like, ask him, okay, I want to convert you to the church of the Book of Mormon, and da da da. And he's like, well, forgive me. Well, can God get rid of the problem that I'm having? Like, can He do that? And he's like, what do you mean? He says, I have maggots in my scrotum. And it's like, what? He's like, and he got putting his hand down his pants. I got maggots in my scrotum. And then the Mormon white boy is on some like, oh well, maybe you need to go see a doctor. Go see a doctor. You know about that, about having maggots in your scrotum. And then he's like, took his hand out of his pants, said, I am the doctor. I went to go shake his hand. So the man is the doctor, but the doctor got maggots and his scrotum. He got ailments that he can't even cure. Now, for disclaimer, this is like the first cast. So that's probably why I just realized this is the first cast. So they had the blackish looking girl, but then they replaced her, right, with the mulatto girl right now that she's playing the girl right now. So she's playing the mulatto girl right now. So it was very uncomfortable. They had an intermission, and I felt like disgusted during this whole time where all these racist things was happening. I told my wife like, "Yo, you want to leave?" She's like, "Nah. Let me just see. Let me just see." And when intermission came, I asked her again. You know, they had an intermission. I was like, "Yo, I'm sorry. I didn't know it was gonna be like this. There's no rebutting these racist stereotypes and tropes." I was like, "Yo, if you want to leave, it's all right." I spent like $300 something on these tickets. And I was tight. I was like, yo, I spent like three and change on these tickets. And she's like, no. It's okay. I want to see where this is going to go. So I was like, all right. And I'm kind of hoping that it would probably went to like a better place. And so while we're having this conversation, they had these so when we started looking around, so the intermission, so the lights turn on and everything, and we get a look around, we like looking around, we like, yo, we like the only black people in here, yo. It's like, you know what I'm saying? And then so of course, the lights is on everything, and then I doubt it's us being, what I'm saying, self-conscious, for lack of a better word, us being self-conscious, but it just felt that all eyes were on us. You know what I'm saying? Like all eyes were just on us. So I'm thinking, like, okay, and maybe it's just me and stuff like that. Then my wife is like, yo. I was like, what? She's like, yo, why are these two white girls in the back of us like just staring at me? I'm like, the ones over there? She's like, yeah. I'm like, And I said, I really didn't see or paid any mind. Then she was like, nah, they still looking at me. And I started looking at them. I'm like, yeah, they're all looking at you. And they started like snickering. I'm like, what? And I'm about to like, she's like, yo, if these bitches, white bitches keep looking at me and keep snickering at me, she's like, yo, they not gonna like it because I'm not one to play with. I'm not, you know what I'm saying? I'm not these niggas up in the stage where you could just laugh at me. This is intermission. This is not the continue of the show, and I'm not them. And I'm like, yo, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Because at this point in stage, they felt like the situation felt like we gave them a safe space for them to be racist. Because again, everyone's just cracking, just laughing at black people, just laughing at the minstrel show. It's just hilarious. It's like the best thing ever, and it's like I think it gave them like a false sense of how they could just make they could just snicker at us and just whatever. So I'm like, damn, so like it's kind of a hard thing to explain unless you are like you're in like a particular situation like that or something, then you kind of like get what I what I'm saying, get what I mean. But it's just a hard thing. So what I'm trying to do right now is, because I do have some clips and I do have some videos on while we were there, and just to give you like the glimpse of the audience, like give you like put you like in our position of what we had to like deal with, and like kind of feel what we were feeling. you know um where is it? Hold on one second pull while I pull it up. It's supposed to be here. Hold on one second. Let me find it for a bit. Hold on. All right. Here we go. So basically, I'm going to show you the intermission. We did it real quick because we tried to do it on a sneak tip. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if she was really trying to like, record her, but in the beginning, you're gonna see on the white girls that were like snickering at her, snickering at the both of us during the intermission right now. Hold on, I'm about to share my screen and show you. Let me get it popping first. Yeah. Let's do this. All right. So let me share my screen. All right. Is that it? All right. Share my screen right now. So this is what it was. I didn't know it was going to be on. I didn't know it was going to be in this format. Right there in the corner. But we're basically she want to get a shot. Yeah. I remember that white girl right there, looking like fucking Pauly Shore and shit in the gray, right there, right. It was those. It was those sitting at the back of us because we were like on the end because I'm tall, so I want to make sure that my legs could be out. You know what I'm saying? So I got me a nice aisle seat, right? So they were like at the back of us, right? So you pretty much see that's the stage. I got like it's pretty much front row, that I got over there. Like, yeah, yeah. It was these two bitches right here, right? And this is my stuff right here, right? That's my bag and it's my wife's bag. So we're sitting in these two seats right here, and these two bitches over here is like snickering and all this other stuff. And my wife was like, "Yo, they look at me one more time, or they start snickering one more time. I'm gonna set it. I'm gonna set it on them. You know what I'm saying? It's like, like they trying me stuff right now. I was like, yo, babe, I don't care, yo. Because usually I calm my wife down. You know what I'm saying? She's not obviously she's not warish or rambunctious and stuff like that. But in this situation, you know what I'm saying? I'm not even because I felt the same way. I felt if a couple of white dudes was doing that to me, I'm like, yo, I'm not fucking playing with you. Who the fuck you playing with? I'm not like these coon ass niggas on the stage. So like, who do you fucking playing with? You got the wrong one. You know what I'm saying? So there's nothing but white people there. Nothing. I think it's the only shot I got of the audience. When I went to like the bathroom, there's like a bar at the back of me. It must have been like, so you got here and you got the balcony all up top over there. So I would say there was probably about probably about like I say about like 600, 700 people, 700 people there. So so it was a lot of people there. So out of 700 people there, they were black people there, and I would say maybe I would say like a good 40. And I'm embellishing the number. I think there's like 40 black people there out of all of them. So I'm thinking like, damn, are these just like token Negroes that you know what I'm saying? Those raised by a bunch of white people that's self-hating, or like I don't know, or they could just be me because I'm in the same situation. They be looking at me the same situation, like, God damn, why are you here? Like, what's going on? So it was. Besides that, it was a very uncomfortable place to like to be. It was just crazy. Saying lucky for them, they didn't do anything else after that because they had another intermission and I went to the bathroom. The bathroom was like up all the way in the balcony. That probably says men, that probably says women up in the balcony. So I saw my wife down here and I was like, yo, you good? Yeah, I said if you about to sit on and let me know. I want to be there so anyone intervene, I'll be knocking them the fuck out. You know what I'm saying? She's like, nah, they good. I'm like looking at them, they ain't saying shit. And I was like, all right. You know what I'm saying? So that happened. That happened. So moving on, there was intermission that happened, and then they pretty much had They had certain tropes there. So they had a guy named General Buck Naked and General Buck fucking naked, and that's an actual real person. And he was like this warlord. Everything terrorizing him. It was just it was just like, really, this is what y'all doing. You know what I'm saying? So where is he? I'm trying to find General Buck fucking naked. Oh man, he must be somewhere else. So basically, I'm gonna try to find a picture of him, but basically, this is what it was. And I'm like sitting here, I'm not looking at this, and I'm like, yo, what type of black people? I'm sorry, black people. I didn't mean to insult black people. What type of niggas they got nowadays that would do something like this? Like no shame at all. It felt like I went back in time looking at a minstrel show. Like everything you think possible, she thinks she was texting. She's texting the missionary because the missionaries have phones, right? She had a typewriter and she thinks she was texting them by using the typewriter. I shit you not. So this says she doesn't know how a typewriter works and she doesn't know how a cell phone works, let alone a phone. It was insult after insult after dig after dig after dig, and it just didn't stop. They just roll along with it, like, yeah, this is how Africans are, right? Um, so and basically, he's preaching to them, and then they have like a little moment where she's gonna get baptized, and there was a lot of sexual innuendos and putting her and dipping her in the water, making her. Again, it was some Negro bed wench, some slave play shit, and it was just disgusting, right? Um, it everyone's all grinning. Again, all these niggas is grinning and smiling through the whole thing. You know what I'm saying? You got the mulatto girl, which is more favorable, of course, obviously, and stuff like that. She can't be, she ain't half bad. You know what I'm saying? So that's how they see it. I don't know. I don't know why they replaced the other one, but they got her. You know, and towards the end, the funny, like, again, they'll take digs at the Mormon church and the things that they believe in, but they wouldn't take digs to them as people, as their humanity. They still kept, obviously, the white people obviously kept their humanity and their intelligence intact, even though they had adversity. Some of them had adversities against their religion, which was backwards. At least they had the testicular fortitude to be on some, like, well, you know what? My religion may say this, but I need to think about this. So they had moments of clarity even when they were at fault. So this scene was one of the funniest scenes that I like. Now, mind you, I'm the fairest person on YouTube. They people they could sing. The people could sing. The singing wasn't bad. The choreography was good. It was fine. But there was one of the funniest scenes that they have right here when they converted all of those Negroes on the stage to Mormonism, and they felt so good. And the song that basically saying that we are really Africa. We are Africa. We are the Serengeti. We are we are big and high as proud as Kilimanjaro. You know what I'm saying? We are graceful like the gazelle. It was funny. So obviously it was satire and it was funny and stuff like that. So they took digs at themselves like that as far as them being egotistical and white saviors and stuff like that. But at the same time, again, and I don't like missionaries. I really don't like missionaries because a missionary's goal is to do what? A missionary's goal is to saying that my religion is the right and correct religion, regardless of what your religious stance, no matter how you see yourself as a good person are not like, oh wow, my bad, y'all. Uh, I I didn't share my screen there, so hold on a second. So I'll present it as soon as I. Sorry about that. I thought I was sharing it. So here we go. So like I said, it was the scene where they're saying, they are Africa, they are big and wide like the savannah and yada yada yada, right? So um yeah, so that was happening. So they're missionaries. So the missionary goal is to do what? The missionary's goal is to, regardless of your religion, if you have one or not, is no good because you don't have my religion. So they'll go under false pretenses, being all high and mighty, saying, okay, let me see if they have a need for something. So in Africa, they don't have seasons like this, obviously, because this is European Western seasons. So we have dry seasons and wet seasons, right? And obviously, you plant during the wet season. So when the dry season comes, you have a bountiful harvest, yada yada yada. But if the rainy season is not as rainy and stuff like that, you don't get too much rain and it's really bad, then during the dry season, you'll have you have probably some failing crops. Same thing if the wet season is, you don't get enough rain, then you have drought, right? So that's the dynamic there. But they will see a need that you have, whether it be water or food, they'll come with that, saying, oh, whoa, here's food from America. You know who did that? No. Wasn't it just you just gave me this bottle of water or some grain or wheat? Yeah, but it was really Jesus. Your God is not good enough. So see, Jesus sent me here to help you. Right. So it's a very disingenuous thing that they do. Because if you want to really help someone, help someone. Don't help someone in order to demoralize and to disrespect who they are as a person culturally, right? So that's all that missionaries do. They just don't give. Oh, let's just give. Oh, you need it. Oh, let's just give. When people give you something for nothing, you always have to question, why are you giving me this for nothing? But it's never for nothing. There's a reason for it. What did Desmond Tutu said? He said when the missionaries came to Africa, they gave us the Bible and we had the land. When we opened up the Bible and read the Bible, when we looked up, we had the Bible and they had the land. It's just a different form of colonialism. That's all that it is, right? So that was like the funny part of the of that part, whatever. But so at the end, I kept questioning, like, I asked my wife, like, yo, I was really disgusted by the 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 niggas that was doing this. That's why I was really disgusted. So at the end, basically, they all converted, saying, to Mormonism and stuff like that. I'm not gonna go into the plot or the detail too much. There was a lot of ridiculousness that was happening. The guy had to pretty much lie to them what Mormonism is, because at least those Africans, one thing I would say, and I almost missed this, those Africans didn't believe the things of Christianity. They believe in Christianity because it made no sense. And Mormonism is supposed to be even more ridiculous form of Christianity, and they definitely didn't believe that. So to convert them, the guy had to lie to her and to everyone else and give them a version of Mormonism that's more understandable. That's more understandable and stuff like that. So they say, oh, instead of fucking frogs, instead of fucking babies, fuck frogs instead. Shit like that. You know what I'm saying? It's like to get rid of your AIDS because everyone has AIDS. You know what I'm saying? So it was just a lot. You know what I'm saying? So at the end, that's what pretty much happened. But like I said before, the thing that bothered me the most was like, what type of where they find these motherfuckers, yo? Where do you find these coon ass, Steven, Django, Step and Fetch It, coon Negroes? That was a question, and that's the question that was like egging me because it really didn't make any sense. So I was like, all right, let me look to see what their background is and see who they are. So I saw the playbill and I saw the names, and I was like, wow. I was like, you know what? This is mostly, I bet you it's mostly on Black Americans. I just bet you it's mostly Black Americans. You know what I'm saying? It just has to be for someone to have this much hate and vitriol and be this ignorant about Africans with for some reason, like FBA failed bitch ass Americans or failed buck broken assholes or whatever. They have this disdain for Africans, and pretty much they still following the plantation narrative of, well, I'm not African, I'm American. You know what I'm saying? So they don't feel that they're actually making fun of themselves, right? And and I'm not even gonna lie, there was a time in my life, when I was very young, I felt that that was no connection. Not that my parents taught me, well, you're not them. They were just saying, well, they were more proud about who they were. So the law of opposites is like, okay, so they're not me. If we're just proud of who we are, then I got nothing to do with you. You see what I'm saying? So I said, I bet you it's Americans or whatever and stuff like that. But when I looked at the names, like, you know what? Because the names are English, Irish, European names. So I said, you know what? Again, I'm the fairest person in YouTube. I said it probably could be some Caribbean people. You know what I'm saying? That you know what I'm saying? I won't find a lot of Caribbean people that will go that far. You know what I'm saying? I don't see us really going far like that. Not saying that we don't have some Caribbean people that would do that. I wouldn't say we wouldn't do that, but those type of Negroes are a little very hard to find. You find an American quick fast to do something like this. So I was like, you know what? Let me not assume. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to assume or anything like that. So I was like, let me do some digging. Let me do some digging. So, without further ado, I got the playbill. So I'm going to show you guys the playbill that I was talking about. So let's go find that playbill. Where are you? Where are you? Da-da-da. Hope I didn't get rid of the playbill. No, I didn't there. No, I didn't there. Hold on one second. I didn't think I got rid of the playbill, but maybe I did. Hold on one second, guys. I'm gonna get that playbill. Don't worry, it's not gonna take me long to get the playbill. As I want to just basically show you so you don't have to waste your time. And I want to show you that I'm being honest, and I'm not trying to like just throw shade on these Negroes. You see what I'm saying? Hold on one second. Okay, okay, okay. Boom, boom, boom. Oh man, I hope I didn't do him. All right. Okay. Yeah. So I got it. So we're gonna look at the playbill right now, right? And we're gonna see who these people are. Because I was curious to know who these people are, what their background is, and stuff like that. Because I just had to understand try to understand the mindset of these people, right? So pretty much, again, this is the new cast. This is the cast that I saw. So obviously, this is the opening night cast, which is different. And that's the supposedly mulatto girl was supposed to be the main person, right? But so that's the old cast. But I'm going to the new cast. I'm pretty sure the dynamics is the same in the new cast, right? So, right, this is the mulatto chick right there, and they kept messing up her name, purposely messing up her name, like it's so hard, right? But again, white people only make fun of people's names when they're not European, right? Right. I see Russian names, German names. It's like, wow, it's like 30 letters in your freaking name. No one goes to make fun of a German name or a Russian name or let's say even like a Greek name or any other name that's not commonplace. You know what I'm saying? Because it'll be uncultured and undignified and it'll be ignorant because you don't know a culture. One is African culture that has probably the same amount of letters. Oh, we're gonna just poke fun at it. We don't want to do that. But that's what white people has done from a colonial mindset. So in Africa, they rename everything. Nigeria is not Nigeria's original name. No, the Great Lake region is those aren't the name of it. Like what was it, Lake Victoria and all this other bullshit stuff like that. The Europeans renamed all that. So they don't respect people's names. If I don't respect your cultural name, your cultural language, I don't respect you, right? So this is the mulatto chick right here, and her name is Kim. Kim Exum. Forgive me if I'm butchering her name, right? So I'm like, okay, let's see where I'm gonna do. I'm gonna be on my FBA bullshit. I'm gonna see where you from. Where you from? So I went to go see, like, look up to see, like, like where is she from, right? So let's see. Her name is Kim. Da, da, da. All right, so I got it right here. All right, so we're gonna go about her last name, obviously, because anybody could, could give you could have a an American name or a European name, but it's your last name that pretty much usually should tell you who you are, where you're from, as far as like your lineage, your real lineage of who you are and where you're from, right? So let me share my screen with you here on what I have found on the meaning of that name, right? So I Googled it, right? The surname Exum was first found in Somerset, where they held a family seat as lords of the manor. The Saxon influence of English history diminished after the Battle of Hastings in 1066. The language of the courts was French of the next 3 centuries, and the Norman ambiance prevailed. But Saxon surname survived, and the family name was first referenced in the 13th century when they held estates in that shire. So she is an English woman, right? So obviously she is siding on her Saxon side, so it's it so that makes sense. So I'm like, oh, I looked at her and I was like, oh, this chick is definitely mulatto. This is definitely mulatto. So when I see mulattoes doing some anti-black stuff, I get it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got your Tiger Woods saying I ain't black and all this other stuff. You got a lot of mulattoes that would say a lot of things, disparaging against, their parent, and their parent don't give no pushback because their parent hate their own black ass. That's why they got themselves a white person. Usually that's the common denominator in my experience sometimes. So okay, that made sense. So let's see who the other person is. Let's see who the other person is in the playbill. So let's go back to the playbill and see who's next in line. So, yeah, of course. All right, so that's the playbill. All right, so let's see who is next. Right? So she's the main character. I'm not even worried about the white people, you know what I'm saying? So in this case is guilt by association because I'm pretty sure that they're not kicking back to do something like that. So we got this guy here. So we already have a mulatto, right? A self-hating mulatto. Well, she hates half of herself or whatever. And we got this guy. His name is Jaquise C. Smith. So let's see what's going on with Jaquise C. Smith, right? So I want to know if he a FBA. You a FBA? I want he a FBA or if he's Caribbean. You know what I'm saying? I want to know. I want to know. So let's see right here, so you guys could see right along with me. So let's see who he is. Jaquise C. Smith. So it says Jaquise C. Smith, right? This is autobiography, yada, 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 yada. I really couldn't find too much on him really to say anything until I read. So Jaquise Smith is an actor known for Oz, American Masters, yada, yada, yada. Jaquise has been married to Carly Thomas Smith since March 19, 2007. And I'm like, who's that? I have no idea who that person is, you know. And then I said, you know what? Let me Google who, you know, this chick is, because I don't know who this lady is or anything like that. But let me see who she is. So when I Googled her name in, right, and everything, this is what I got. This is his wife. This is his wife. This is his wife. Right? She's an actress. He's an actress. This is his wife. Right? So I go, oh, it makes sense now. Okay. It makes sense now. Another self-hating Negro. You know what I'm saying? The cycle just continues. So if you hate your own black ass and you try to, you know, and you think you're not African, or usually niggas like this say, well, I'm not African, I'm American. Or let's not concentrate on race. Race is not a real thing right now. Let's concentrate on the personality, and we're all human beings. You know, what will Martin Luther King say and all this other stupid shit? You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, he's 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 a part of making fun and denigrating Africans. I'm not saying that's what he says or feels, right? I could only speculate, but it's clearly he doesn't have any qualms of putting on a minstrel show for white people. So at least that we know. We know he has no pride or he doesn't care about how African people, how black people are looked upon and portrayed. That we know is a fact. That we know is a fact, without a doubt. So all I could go on is based upon what the man puts out there. I think I had something else on his bitch ass. Boom, 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 boom. Where'd he go? think it was something right here. So that was his wife. It was something else, but you know what? I'm not gonna get too much on him. He's already been exposed. There's some other stupid, funny ass shit that he did and stuff like that. That was like, nah. All right. So we're gonna move on and we're gonna go to the next person. Um. Oh yeah, or right here. Just the. Oh, this is what it was. Just in case you think I'm lying, right? That see if they're not married. I pulled up her real bio. Here's a bio of her, and this is her bio. Carly Thomas Smith. Remember, his name is Smith, and this is her name, Carly Thomas. So her husband is Mr. Smith, right? So Carly Thomas Smith, and you read down here, Carly Thomas Smith is known for Deadline 2000, Friends 1994, Star Trek Enterprise 2001. Carly has been married to Jackie C. Smith since 19th of March 2007. So that's his wife. Negro bed bucking, Negro bed winching, and we always fucking lose. That's the common denominator. Because you have so this dude already raised, pun intended, a white flag at his blackness, and he revoked it a long time ago. Right? So no big surprise there. No big surprise there. This is his wife, right? So basically showing you basically, the work and things that she was in and stuff like that. Right? So whatever. Bye, bitch. Whatever. Don't care. So that's two down. Right? That's two down. So he's gone. She's gone. All right. So let's go back to the playbill. Let's go back to the playbill. Because this is just, I had to know who these traitors are. Because that's who they're pretty much traitors. So we did Jackie C. Smith. He's married to the white girl, right? Don't care about him, right? This guy, I really couldn't. So he played the general, aka General Buck Naked, right? I need to find. I wish I could find that picture. He was just dressed as a very tacky so-called warlord. Had he had cowboy boots on, the eye patch. So he had like war general / Somali pirate / someone who just raided a Gucci store, and you just put all that in one, right? Him, I really couldn't find anything on him too much. I guess he's not that memorable as as a as a cast member. I couldn't really find anything on him. I really didn't turn up with anything. So, like I said, I'm the most honest person on YouTube. So I was gonna say he's Caribbean, just to be fair. But we don't know. He could be American. But to be fair, I'm gonna say he's Caribbean, right? Because the name Williams, you know what I'm saying, is on. That's why I'm saying we're pretty much the same people, the same oppressor. But for some reason, stupid ass Negroes think we're different. So I know Williams is one of is in my family. I know a Jamaican that's also Williams. So and it's obviously Williams are here in America. So again, but I'm gonna give you all that, right? Moving forward. So we got Isaiah Tyrell Boyd. This is the Negro that said he's the doctor that he got. Through the whole play, he kept saying, I got maggots in my scrotum. I got maggots in my scrotum. And he's the doctor. So they keep reinforcing that, yes, I'm a doctor, but yeah, I'm incompetent. You know what I'm saying? So, of course, the saying witch doctor. Well, I don't know why witch doctor, if you know the history of what a witch doctor is and what they actually do. but it has a negative connotation within the Eurocentric mindset, right? So him right there, this fucking fool right here, right? I pulled up a little bit of something on him. So let's see. Da, da, da. Notice that. What's his name? There's Void. Okay, hold on a second. Let me find it. Wow. Oh wow. I think I deleted that. Oh my gosh. Oh man. I think I think I did. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna come. I don't want to give it away right now. I think I might do the paper. I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna double back to him. Right. So let's go to her, Mrs. Jackson. So again, Jackson. That's a very American last name. You know what I'm saying? Thank you to y'all, Master Andrew Jackson. So you got Freddie Jackson, the Jackson Five, Jesse Jesse Jackson, Axon Jackson, Michael Jackson. You, Jackson is just a very popular name, especially for Black Americans. It's very rare you see a white person named Jackson. You know what I'm saying? Donald Dump Trump, his doctor that he pays to give him all these fake when the president do their physical, you know what I'm saying, he was buddy with his with his doctor, giving say, oh, Trump is just sound hella gay, but we know Trump is a freaking pedophile and shit like that. He said, hey, and his doctor's gonna say, he said something to the effect that I never seen a man more healthy and more fit and more strong. This shit sound like a love letter. It's not like a love. I like, we're you supposed to be given a medical diagnosis of the president's physical condition so we can know that he's well, he ain't mentally right or good anyway. But just say that, okay, he's not gonna just fall over and die and stuff like that because he's old, right? Nah, it sounded like a love letter. Same love letter that he gave to Kim Jong-un. You know what I'm saying? Like why are you writing Kim Jong-un love letters? He's a dictator, but Trump wants to be a dictator. He wants America to be a dictatorship / theocracy. You know what I'm saying? So that's neither here or there. Right? So that's Erica Jackson. So let's see what we got on Erica Jackson. So we got it right here. So let me share my screen again. And we're going to learn about Erica. Let's learn about Erica. Okay. So I went to her Instagram page, right? So most likely she is American, stuff like that. You really can't tell by looking, regardless of what failed bitch ass Americans may say, right? So this is her because you got the Book of Mormon thing on there, right? She's probably from down south from the ATL or whatever, right? So it's kind of like not hard to determine who she is or isn't. You know what I'm trying to say? So I really don't know. I really don't know. I would say most likely she's American, right? She's American. So y'all got to give that to me because I said the other dude was I couldn't find nothing on him. The other dude was Caribbean, right? So you guys, you gotta give me this one. You gotta give me this one at least, right? So let's go on to the playbill again. There's not that many. There's not that many of them, thank God. So I'm not gonna be on this. I'm not gonna be on this too long. So let's see what the other person is. And I want to where you are, right there. All right. And then we have Kristen Jeter, like Derek Jeter. I don't think there's a relation or anything like that. But we have Kristen Jeter. And let's see if she is a Caribbean from Caribbean descent or is she a FBI. She been here. She been here. So let's see. So I'm gonna share my screen again so you can see what I'm talking about. Is she? Isn't she? Who knows? All right, so this is a bio. Kristen Jeter was born and raised in the Peach State of Georgia while growing up in the city of Samina. Kristen was involved in sports, yada yada yada. So she a LBA. She a LBA. So she's American. So pretty much it seems my assumptions is coming to fruition. She a LBA. Right? So I don't know any group of Africans or Caribbean people pretty much going on a stage doing a minstrel show. But again, this is how sick some of our people are. They think when they're being laughed at, when the white people are laughing at them, they're not laughing at them. They're laughing at Africans. They're laughing at them pretending to be African when they stupid black ass is African. Your genetics is African. I don't care if you fools say, "Well, I'm Cherokee, I'm Choctaw, I'm Blackfoot, whatever." Yes, but the majority of your DNA makeup is West African. And then I'm talking, well, I'm like 40% Choctaw and the rest is African American. So it's like a split. Nah, Negro. No. You're like you got more white in you than you do have Native American. Black Americans have more white in them than they do have Native American. When you look at their DNA makeup, when you ask that average on Black American, or when you go online, you see the average Black American makeup, right? You research it, it's African first, then European, then some traces, if they have it, of Native American. And we're not even talking 10%. We're talking like 3%, 2%, sometimes none at all. Like me, same thing. I'm from Guyana and I'm 98% African, 1% European, and 1% Native American from Chile because I'm more in the southern region, right? So I don't go around saying, "Oh, I'm Chilean." Like the fuck, fuck you, man. Sit your black ass down, like, and that's how they sound. You know what I'm saying? So this is Kristen. Kristen is a FBA. All right. So what's the other person we have here? And this is this is where it gets good. Well, I shouldn't say good. It just gets like, yeah, typical. I could see that. I can see that. This is very typical. You know what I'm saying? Like you see it from a mile away, right? So we're done with Kristen, yeah. Right? Don't care. And let's see what we got on Terry Lynn. Right? I don't know any Caribbean people with the last name Lynn. Lane, yes, but Lynn, not so much. Do I have anything on her? I couldn't get anything on her at all. Right? I really couldn't get anything on her. But it's a coon fest at this point. So it doesn't really matter. Right? Her. She is very interesting. Stony M. Mutu. Mutu. Stony B. Mutu. Or Moto. Don't, however you want to pronounce it. Don't really matter at this point. So I like her because she's a hodgepodge. What do I mean by that? Like saying that she's a hodgepodge, like saying she's a bit of a conundrum and a gray area. And the reason why I say that, when you look up that last name, you look up that surname, it's again, it's a mixed bag. So, and I never knew that last name even existed till I saw it. So I'm not even gonna front. You know what I'm saying? So let's research her name. So here you go, is the site forebears. Basically, you put your name in there, yada yada yada. The meaning of the surname. Oops, sorry. On the damn map. All right. So this is a concentration of where the names are mostly, right? Obviously in America, right? That's where it mostly is. It's saying, but pay attention here. Pay attention here. So you see that, right? No, go away. Right? Just want to give you guys so you can pay attention to that. One of the islands off of Madagascar. This is Madagascar. This is the so-called Indian Ocean. We call it the Ethiopian Ocean, but we know why. I'm not even going to get into that, right? So let's back up a little bit here so you can see the whole map, right? So Mauritius, right? So I believe that's is that little island that we saw, right? So this is the stats. So Mauritius, you have some from TNT boy, Trinidad Tobago, United States, Guyana, big up, Canada, Panama, England, United States, and Jamaica, and Thailand, right? So that's the makeup, right? So when you read it, says the last name in the United States, those holding the Moto surname are 31% more likely. No, that's not what I want to see. The surname was also most common surnames globally, held by one in one. See, so it's a lot of people, so it's not that much. Say 1 in 3 million people. The surname occurs mostly in the Americas, where 60% of the Mototo or Motutu are found. 32% are found in South Africa, and 32% are found in Southern Africa, Indian Ocean. Mototo is also 797, the most common first name worldwide. It is borne by 135 people. So it's commonly held in Mauritius or whatever. It is borne by 665 people, or one in about 2,000 people. So yeah, she's could be American. She could be from there because it's like all over. So you can't really like pinpoint, but the name is seems to be African in origin, I would say, but it's all over, right? And again, it's like splitting hairs, saying that we're different people. So that's why it's mixed up. So who knows what her influences are, right? So that's that one. So let's go back. We're almost at an end here, so I could prove my point to let you know that I'm not just talking out my ass, right? So this dude, woo, this like this is it. But this dude right here was the group is a this dude and this dude I can't stand. They were like the worst. I hate her. I don't like her ass either, right? But this dude right here, let's see who Darius Nichols is. Who is Darius Nichols? Darius Nichols. Darius Nickelback. Let's stop right here. See and get pull Darius up. See who Darius is. Darius Nichols. So this is Darius. There was only real Yeah, other information is mostly about his career and stuff like that. So, but you want to know about the person, they really don't give you like a real bio. But these people there are in Broadway. Again, it's a stereotype, but a lot of people in Broadway, as far as I know, back during the '70s and stuff like that, a lot of them were on the funny side and stuff like that. So when HIV came around, a lot of people on Broadway and things like that, you know, dropped dead, died of AIDS or whatever, right? So he looks very cozy there, you know. Mm-hmm. 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 The thing about it, he almost looks like my friend, especially that nose. My friend from St. Kitts and Nevis. He looks like him, but I know it's not him. And you got this over here, right? So this is him, right? And that's really about it. But I think I've seen enough. Ah, right. So, and the other one, I'm not even gonna go back to the playbill no more. Right? You have. I'm gonna share my screen. You also have this one right here. Where you at? Not you. Not you. We're not gonna do Abner yet. I'm gonna do this chick. This chick is also a part of the cast as well, right? So let's give a listen.
Today is just she works very hard and she's extremely talented. Like she's got the package, but it is rare to find people who keep their soul. And that's not easy to do. Yeah. That doesn't mean her soul is perfect. None of our souls are perfect. That's why it's hard. Our soul is weighted.
But you're working on it every day to remain a good person on top of everything else.
Yes. And especially in an industry where you have to, in my experience, you have to have a certain kind of ego to, like a little bit of narcissism that you have to walk through. Yes. People want to be part of it. They want you to have that.
There's a balance.
But yes. Yeah. And some people don't know that.
This bitch is on a minstrel show agreeing of that. Well, he's saying it, she's co-signing that she didn't sell her soul, and you got to have balance. This stupid ass, coon ass Negro thinks that she has some moral high ground. I don't know what she did before. I don't care if she played the Woman King and Harriet Tubman in one role. What you did now is totally disgraceful. It's totally disgraceful. And obviously, this is a bullshit interview. You know what I'm saying? The guy is, and stuff like that. So, he's just happy to be next to a girl, stuff like that. Hopefully, he think that will rub off on him more. Like, I don't think he needs any more of that. But this is going to be a bullshit interview.
Welcome.
Oh, man, I think, whoa, what did I do? Did I just hit? Oh, man, I think I hit the other. Hold on a second. Let's do this again.
Welcome to Tea with Willie D. Welcome to Tea with Willie D. Welcome to Tea with Willie D. A low 2009 to find people who keep their like a little bit of narcissism if you haven't walked through it. Yes. People want you to be a part. They want you to have that.
There's balance.
But yes.
Yeah.
And some people don't know that.
It's very easy.
Where you from?
I'm from Houston, Texas. Texas girl.
Yeah, so you.
She's a Texas girl.
No, Texas is right.
FBA, she an FBA. Again, my speculations are right. They're usually educated guesses. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I don't know if she's first, second, third generation or whatever and stuff like that, but I'm gonna go with her being a FBA. You know what I'm saying? Because according to Tariq Nakoon and Tariq Nashit, you know what I'm saying, that you know what I'm saying, we don't like y'all and stuff like that. We like to wave our flags and da 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 da. So she's not doing that. You know what I'm saying? She's not doing that. She has no reason to do that. You know what I'm saying? She don't consider, you know what I'm saying, that she would have told it, she would have said, well, I'm from Texas, but I'm from Nigeria, or I'm from Ghana, or I'm from whatever. She didn't do that. She didn't do that. So she a FBA.
Houston, I mean, Texas is really taking over, really, truly, everywhere I go, because I live in LA and in New York, and so expensive. But
Fire for that. Fire. More fire for that.
so there's a lot of us, a lot of Texans everywhere. So yeah, I started doing theater like my senior year of high school because it wasn't popular. I wasn't an athlete, so I did like track and field, went to state, all of that. 400.
I don't give a fuck, coon ass bitch. Anyway, so she gone. so, so the next one I have here is, I think this dude always forget. It was either this dude or the other dude. This is the other dude, right? Mm-hmm. It says, what it says right here, Black Boy Joy or Black Boy Toy? And this shit says queer. See, John Eric Parker from Book of Mormon, right there. Mm-hmm. Oh, isn't that so bussified wonderful? So yes, so he's the general. He plays the General Buck Naked, the black general. Now for General Buck Naked, remember they're supposed to be in Uganda. General Buck Naked is an actual real person, but he's Liberian. He's Liberian. He's not from Uganda. So what? Like, again, they all. That's what I'm saying. They deliberately took all the racist, crazy tropes. They took a little bit of truth and a little bit of lies, and they just expand upon it and just made it a reality. So this is this. I can't even say the word. Dude, right here, right? So obviously, this Negro, right here, he probably don't consider himself black, because with these people, they consider themselves, well, they're gay first, then they black. So they blackness always take a back seat, so they can be more accepted in white society, right? So wait, so my blackness. Let's say he considers himself African. Yeah, black means African. Yes, that shit still took a back seat, right? It still took a backseat, but these are these on people, right? Like feminists and black feminists and black LGBTQ people. They feel that, again, it goes across the board when you when you were in certain groups that are predominantly white. Your blackness is not good enough, right? You have to have something there else attached to it, so you can be more acceptable, more palatable for certain white people, for certain white organizations. So if they're gay, like, oh, he's black but he's gay, you know what? My friend is gay. My cousin, my daughter, my niece, my nephew, they're gay. So if he's gay too, okay, I can relate with you that way because people in my family is gay. You know what I'm saying? So that's like their way. That again, that's what I mean by they're more palatable, right? So this is again, not surprised. Obviously, his blackness took a back seat. I keep telling you, there's always a reason why. We got like one Caribbean so far that might be Caribbean, right? And we got one person that's probably is a hodgepodge that might be African. But so far, they're all American. These are all Americans. Wait, hold on one second. Oh, whoa. My bad, y'all. My bad. I thought I was sharing my screen. My bad for that. My bad for that. I'm such. I'm just so quick. All right, so here's the dude right here that plays the general, right? He probably gave him some booty love or whatever for them to get the part. I don't know, right? This is him right here, and this is him, John Eric Parker, right? Book of Mormon, so you know that's him, right? This is the photo where it says queer, right? This one says black boy joy or black boy toy, right? All that shit right there, right? And it's where he's probably doing some costume playing General Buck naked or whatever else because he would look like that, right? All of this, all of this, all of that, all of this shit, right? So this takes precedent over his blackness, his pride, his dignity. Well, he got pride. He just got the wrong. He puts the wrong type of pride first. Remember, being gay is more important and is number one as far as who he is as a person. So he could disparage blacks in America, blacks anywhere. He could do that. All right. So jump in the lake. That's me being nice. That's me being nice. All right. The last dude here. Da, da, da. No, go away. And I'm not gonna forget to share my screen this time. I am not. I'm not gonna forget to share it. I'm sharing it right now. So this dude here is Abner J. Robinson. All right. So let's see. So basically, this is everything that he's done for what I'm seeing. Again, American, right? Abner J. Robinson. Now again, we're going with the last names. Robinson could be someone from the Caribbean, and Robinson could also be somebody from the Americas. That's a common English, Anglo-Saxon name, right? So we kind of have to, but I'm gonna say he FBI. Abner Robinson is no stranger to the stage. On Broadway, he has managed to master the New York audition process, yada yada yada, da da da. That's the shit that he was in. Abner is from Chicago and is fairly new to the face in New York City. He's from Chicago. Now, I'm not saying there aren't people from the Caribbean from Chicago, but it's very, very, very few. The chance that he's probably from Jamaica, Trinidad, Guyana, stuff like that is in Chicago is rare. Not saying it's not impossible, but it is very rare, especially him being new to New York. Now I got family in Ohio. As far as that's about it, Ohio and Cleveland. That's about it. New Jersey, New York, of course, Virginia, Georgia, and Florida, Texas, Cali. As far as the United States, as far as I know so far, no one talks about Chicago. Nobody talks about Chicago. It's like Chicago, like what for? You know what I'm saying? So there's that. So that's pretty much it. I just wanted to prove to you that it was FBA that it's taking part in these live minstrel shows. I want to read this article. This article, and then I'm going to that'll be it for me. I want to read this article. This article speaks exactly how I felt. You know what I'm saying, of how I felt, because I don't want to like go into the storytelling and stuff like that. You know, I basically wanted to, because I told you the thing that was bothering me more was that who does this? That what was really bothering me. What type of Negroes do shit like this, right? But when I found this article, I was like, well, I'm sorry, I didn't find. My wife found it. I got an article from the Huffington Post. If you want to look that up yourself, the Huffington Post also spoke about this article, but the article that my wife brought up was much better. Was much better. So this is, I'm not even sure what this is. Publisher and the carrier pigeon, whatever. Yeah. Medium.com. That's the name of it. Carrier pigeon. All right. Search Medium. All right. It says the Book of Mormon musical is extremely racist. Why hasn't theater moved past its history of racist tropes? So it says, when I saw the Book of Mormon, all I knew that everybody loved it, from Oprah Winfrey. Oprah Winfrey supposed to be black, supposed to be pro-black and all of this, and Maya Angelou, which is basically feminist bullshit, to Jon Stewart, which is supposed to be, again, a person who prides themselves as an ally for black people, right? From Oprah Winfrey to Jon Stewart. I don't know if that's true, but this is what this person is saying. One of the most successful musicals of all time, the show has won 9 Tony Awards and grossed over $5 million. It is also incredibly racist. Yes, I know the Mormons aren't racist. I'm talking about the Ugandans. I had no idea the story was even set in Uganda, or probably would have thought twice before buying a ticket. Instead, I spent $100 to feel horrendously uncomfortable in a theater full of white people laughing uproariously as one racist trope was rolled out after another. Although my urge was to leave at the interval, I went back and hoping the musical would somehow clarify and undermine the stereotypes it had set up. So obviously we know this is a black person talking because they felt uncomfortable, right? They felt extremely uncomfortable because you feel it's like they poking fun at you. It's like, hey, you black like me, and you saying all these racist tropes, like, you know what I'm saying? That's how I felt. The most self-aware moment is when the two white missionaries gleefully claim to be as African as Bono during the so-called a song called "I Am Africa." Right, that's the one where I showed you where they're all in white. Oh, yo, I forgot to also tell you, to show you this. Yo, let me read this first, and I'll show you like we got other footage. I almost forgot about that. It was. Anyway, I'm Africa. They go on to list complete range of African stereotypes: Zulu spears, running barefoot, primitive and primitive, endowed, etc. The problem is the narrative does not critique these characters, but serve only to reinforce them. When I emerged 2 hours later and went home to Google Book of Mormon racist, um, I trawled through the rave reviews and found next to nothing. Since almost everyone I knew had seen the musical, I asked others whether they felt the same. Here was the most common responses. What do you mean racist? Even the event takes place in Uganda, but they could be anywhere in the continent. Huh? Africa, that's so crazy. Africa is shorthand for an undeveloped and backwards place, as represented in mud huts and semi-naked villagers. The show lazily relies on repeated jokes, most common being female character who sends text messages on a typewriter. Cue audience laughter, laughter they white asses off every single time. The character is only Ugandan we care about, but I have no idea whether her name is because the Mormons refer to her as things like nicotine and Nutella. The audience roars with laughter because isn't it funny how unpronounceable foreign names are? Except for if they're German or European. She is highly fetishized, particularly through a baptism scene with a Mormon missionary that is layered with sexual innuendos. The Negro bedwench, right? Which is the lead. The Negro bedwench mulatto girl. At least she is a sympathetic character. The other Ugandans are nondescript fools who are all riddled with AIDS. The audience shrieks with laughter again, of course, and believes that raping babies will rid them of it. When the missionaries convince them to have sex with frogs instead, the audience hoots and hollers and laughs again. That was my experience. Another running gag is the character's ongoing complaint that the maggots in his scrotum. Fetch the doctor. He is the doctor because African medicine, LOL. And I just want to do a little disclaimer is that all medicine, if you guys, I'm going to show my age, you guys know that movie Sean Connery, Medicine Man. White people would laugh at people living in the bush doing this, doing that, call them witch doctors. And then after that's all that's said and done, will send their own scientists and stuff like that to know, oh, I heard you got this medicine to cure this, to cure that. It does that because the rainforest in South America and Africa has a lot. They got plants. They're the most diverse ecosystem on the planet, South America and Africa, right? And those same witch doctors have plants and ailments, have plants for all types of ailments and all types of medicine, and pharmaceutical companies go down there. So the movie Medicine Man with Sean Connery shows him going down. This is what they do. And say, oh, let's get this, let's get that from them, from the medicine man, the bushman, the witch doctor, all that. And then these stupid ass ignorant on white people and the Negroes gonna start laughing and when knowing their own history, they even didn't take baths. European history, they even didn't take baths. They didn't know what antiseptic was. They didn't know what all these things are. And the people that knew those things were called witches. Those witches were obviously the people who had potions, who did spells and all this other stuff. They had those things. They were the medicinal people, right? A little history for you there, but I had to say that because because most of these things are just so not true. But it makes fun of Mormons. Now, not really. Again, it makes fun of Mormon their religion. It doesn't dehumanize them as people. Everybody has been so busy analyzing whether or not the show is offensive to Mormons that the conversation about Ugandans have been non-existent. While the narrative certainly pokes fun at Mormons' belief, its characterization of missionaries is wholly affectionate. I agree. More than this, the Mormons are clear heroes of the story in a classic white savior ending whereby the Americans save the village from the neighboring warlord General Butt fucking Naked. Harali mentioned his name all the time. They emphasize that. Who is trying to circumcise all the local women. Again, they talk about female circumcision. And I belted this out. We want to, because he wanted to circumcise all the female villagers because the clitoris is a bad thing and is an evil thing, and who cares about how women feel? Now, again, this is mixed up stuff. That is an old tradition that has been banned and outlawed. That's no longer a thing. That's what we mean by these tropes, right? There's a lot of European tropes, a lot of tropes. Everyone has particular tropes, but everyone would know not to say something ignorant as that when it comes to Europeans. So what I belted out is that female circumcision is barbaric, but male circumcision is okay. I said, oh, but male circumcision is okay though. I said it just like that. But they, people looked at me a little bit, they try to ignore it and stay focused. I don't want to, be upstage too long because I don't want to get kicked out. I don't want to get kicked out. You know what I'm saying? But again, it's your cultural norm that's regular to you is not regular to me. You know what I'm saying? So, when you look at the flip side, it's like, well, that's normal. But anyway, fucking naked, religions is that. Yes, fucking naked is so. Villagers create a new religion around missionaries themselves who have lifted them out of the state of godlessness and unintelligence. unenlightenment. Sorry. Thank God for colonialism is the case, literally. The Mormons themselves have actually done rather well out of the musical, reportedly standing out of theaters with flyers and benefiting from a spike in conversations. So the answer to this is not really. Nothing has really changed. Well, having seen South Park, well, I'm not going to read all that. That's basically what it is, because basically I give you my take on South Park. Like, if you ever see they had an episode where they had the N word, right? They had the N word, and basically how the father, it was supposed to be naggers. He was doing Wheel of Fortune, and the word's supposed to be naggers, but he said, "Hey, for $10,000 and a new car," and he said, "Okay, people that annoy you," and he said niggers and stuff like that. So he's trying to justify why it's okay to say niggers. And you have Michael Richards, KKK Kramer, Brett Ratner, and all these other white men that said the N word before, feeling victimized, and they're the real victims and stuff like that. But then it exposed how racist they were, and then it's like, okay, lesson taught. And then Token, the only black kid there, hence the name, right, was saying, well, okay, pretty much a white person try to rectify something and trying to say, well, I understand, and try to tell him how to feel. And then eventually he was like, you can't tell me how to feel. You don't know what it is. You can't understand. You won't understand. All you need to know is that is wrong. That is hurtful. And there's no excuse for that. And you shouldn't say that. And that's the lesson at the end of everything, right? Hence all people making excuses for it. So when I saw this play, that's what I had in mind what they were going to do. But they didn't do that. And that's what was very got me wow, you know what I'm saying? Got me really upset, got me pissed off, to the point nah, man, I gotta make a video about this and whatever, you know what I'm saying, just to have it on the record. But that's about it. Thank you for listening. Thank you for just taking part out. Just please remember to like, share, and subscribe. Please share your opinions. I don't know if you're into Broadway musicals or anything like that, but if you're into Broadway musicals and you live in New York and want to come to New York, don't see the Book of Mormon. Because you're gonna if I was like my old self, we were like our old selves and shit like that, we would have got a fight up in there. and the security was black. Security was looking at us like we was crazy too. Security is because they know you can kind of tell, you know what I'm saying, where someone's from, what their background is. You ain't black like them. You black. Fuck you doing here? You know what I'm saying? We were getting weird vibes. And you're like, why security on some, looking at us saying, everyone did you like the show? And I'm looking at them in their face get the fuck out of my face right now. You know what I'm saying? So, they just picked up on our aura. We picked up on their aura. But don't go see the Book of Mormon. Don't. Thank you. Please remember to like, share, subscribe. Thank you all. Till next time. I'll be back. I know I keep saying that. I'm going to try to be back sooner. There's a lot of shit I need to say. You know what I'm saying? Like the Tariq Nasheed shit. A lot of political stuff. I feel it's going to be good. So I'm going to try to get that out this week. All right. Peace, y'all. Thanks.